Hello,
God,
hello.
hello
Oh my God, what are
everybody.
you doing here?
Hello.
What are you
Whoa,
doing
whoa,
here?
whoa.
That's a serious question. What are you doing here?
Tell me, chat, why are you watching this right
What you
now?
doing here?
What's happening? Huh?
Why are you spending your time here?
What you got? There's nothing better to do than this. So, glad we all agree.
All
Anyway,
right,
we got a pretty packed show today. It's going to be good.
packed.
It's going to be a good time. I need to get the music going. Uh, Let me read through the topics. All right.
The camera's
Today,
all shaky. I'm doing stand-up time today.
your camera's all shaky.
Yeah, because I keep bumping my desk. My desk is very tall today.
I see. I see.
Every
My
time I
desk is
bump it.
really tall too. I'm just incredibly short. You just don't. You just didn't notice. I've actually been standing this entire time. This chair, it's actually just like a piece of foam strapped to my back. So,
Yeah. It's
see.
he's
Look
a
at
trickster. Watch out for
Look
this
at
guy.
Anyway, today we are chatting about introverts versus extroverts in motion. What's that gotta be like?
What's
Going
that
through
gotta
this
be
industry
like?
for each of those personalities? How to attract bigger budgets, our biggest fears, and what the heck's this new delight thing that these review boys are talking about? What could be going on there?
What the heck's that's going on in there?
And of course, our Rex of the Day, of
If you
which
get
I
that
have
reference.
too many.
Call me.
So I may just be saving some for tomorrow. We'll
Austin
see.
does have a lot of Rex.
I have 5, I believe. And if
We'll
I'm not
see.
careful, I'll end up with 6. So, geez, wouldn't that be terrible?
Oh my God.
Any hoosers, what's up, Sanidhya? Hope I said that right. Welcome, Yeti. How you
Huge.
doing? Glad to see you, man.
Yeti!
Hello,
Oh my
Sam.
God.
Hello, Sam. How you doing?
Hello.
Hello. Florin, how you doing?
Oh my
Glad to
God.
see
It's
you.
been such a while, Yeti. I hope you're well.
I hope you are doing swell.
Swell. Austin, I have a question for you.
What's your question for me?
What is an introvert?
An introvert is, I believe, someone who often needs to recharge their social battery, per se. They don't necessarily get as much energy from interacting with other people, especially in person, as an extrovert does. They might get some energy from it, but it wanes very quickly, and they end up needing to recharge, so to speak. That is an introvert.
And an extrovert, perhaps?
Someone who gains lots of extra energy from engaging with people, especially in person.
Now, I will toss a little caveat on this by saying some social settings and scenarios are draining to whoever.
Anybody.
So before
Like the
you go and
DMV.
typecast yourself, like the DMV. That's
My favorite
all. That's
social
just
setting.
a different level of hell. I don't even think that's social. I think that's just hell. Like I'm very much an extrovert, but there can be certain people and certain scenarios that are just so fucking tiring for me. And I think that we exist on a bit of a gradient here, in that I may be very extroverted, but I still have some introvertedness in me. And same with introverts. If you think you're a very introverted person, that doesn't mean that's how you should necessarily only live your life. You have some extroversion in you. So with the caviar done, let's get into it. I think that this field is mostly made up of introverts.
What percentage would you give?
Or extroverts that don't really know that they're that.
What percentage would you give of how many people in motion are introverted, you think?
I would say 120%.
Okay, that's a little too many, I think. Redo.
Okay. I would say negative 120%.
Okay, now I think we're headed in the right direction.
Okay.
I would say somewhere probably around like 87%.
I mean,
sounds like a
it's
pretty
kind of
solid
just
number.
like a very introverted-esque, very artists are usually kind of a little more introverted at times, or at least certain kinds of artists. Like, it's sort of a solitary activity to be a designer, especially like a motion designer. It's kind of niche. Usually you're going to have to do a lot of self-learning, And I think, just the collection of the way you get into it, plus the whole activity itself being a sort of solitary thing usually leads it to be an attractive profession for mostly introverts.
Unless you make motion homies like we talked about yesterday. Go make motion friends. Anyway.
I'll make motion friends, dog. You won't regret it, even if you are an introvert.
I think the extroversion comes out in specific roles in the industry, or there are some roles that are more tailored towards extroverts. You got your salespeople. You're usually, if you're running a studio or something, you have to develop some extroversion if you don't have it. I know I certainly was much more introverted in high school and early college before having Revi, and having to you can't get into a sales call and not be able to talk to the other person. So I think there's some learned traits that come along with that end up making people feel a little bit more extroverted. Perhaps, producers as well. Their whole job is just talking to people.
Producers are extroverts usually,
I think that is kind of a necessity there. But as far as like the actual day-to-day production people, motion designers, I'd say they're typically more introverted for sure.
I agree. I think that can be kind of mirrored and seen in other sort of creative professions where like maybe the editors and the camera operators for more live productions are probably a little bit more introverted, but then there's like, again, the producers and and makeup and dress and all that. They're probably usually more extroverted. So I think people generally stray towards their kind of more preferred level of interaction in their jobs. But again, sometimes people just find their way into something and then be like, something's kind of missing, and they don't realize it, but they just needed more contact with people and stuff.
Yeah.
So there's always that to consider, you know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
What are you? Who are you? What are you?
I'd say day to day, it probably very different from a couple of years ago. I would say I used to be like 90% introversion, 10% extroversion. All right. Okay. I'd say now it's probably more like, well, actually, no, I think I spend most of the day talking at this point, but that's just part of the job. I would say internally how I feel is probably like 60% introverted, 40% extroverted. When it comes to my day-to-day stuff, I'm not going to be the type of person to go to parties and, frivolously be looking for social experiences.
Frivolously.
But in terms of my day-to-day now and how I would communicate with people and where I get my energy from within my bubble, I think that's where it's at. 60-40.
60-40.
Yash says, right. Do you guys know your MBTI? I'm assuming that's Myers-Briggs something.
What does MBTI stand for, Austin?
I think that's what it is. Myers-Briggs test in it.
I like it.
Anyway, I don't remember what mine is. But
I don't believe in the Myers-Briggs.
I don't really believe in many of the personality test things, even the Enneagram thing. It's just a convenient way to classify stuff, That's all. I don't really put a whole lot of stock in any of it.
Yeah, I think there are better measurements of that kind of stuff. I like the Enneagram. I think that's kind of fun. But at the end of the day, they're all kind of tools, so take them with the whole salt shaker.
They're just ways to think about things. That's all. But I believe I know I was an IN. Don't remember what the last two things were. So, but I also haven't taken it in like 3 years, 4 years maybe. So
I took it, I think 3 times. Some were for like classes and some were for like fun. I got something different every single time. So
Noah has multiple personality disorder. You heard it here first.
Bob took one. Noah took one. All my personalities decided to get in on that.
Nova took one. Noah took one.
Nova took one. Noah took one.
Doa. Nope.
Doa Moa Poa took one. He's
Woa
crazy.
Denial took one.
Love that guy.
Jerome says, finally caught a live show. Appreciate what you guys are doing. I was super confused on how to attack the industry. Thanks for your guidance and expertise. Looking forward to learning more. Thank you, Jerome.
Yes.
I am so glad that it's helpful.
Johan says, wow, that's such an INFP thing to say.
Yeah,
that's
dude.
amazing.
Irritable, nice, fair, and pragmatic. That's me.
That's really sweet, actually.
I like that the
Being an
first one I put
introvert
was
with social
irritable.
anxiety is a deadly combo, skull emoji.
It
Osama
certainly
says.
can be.
It can be, but I mean, we could get into all that, but I mean, we'll save that for
Some
another day.
people are succulents and don't require a whole lot of maintenance, and some people are what's a really really delicate plant?
Monstera.
I don't even know what the fuck that is, but what he
It's
said.
I think it's the one with holes in the leaves. Hold on.
Oh,
It's
okay.
really pretty.
Well, anyway, some
An
people.
orchid. An orchid. This is
Oh,
orchid. Those
okay.
are really annoying
Some
to take
people
care of.
are very high maintenance internally, and some are very low maintenance internally. So depending on all of this entirely depends on how you feel comfortable existing within your own little ecosystem that you've built for yourself. You know, I think that's more of what we're getting at here.
If you want to see a monstera, you can switch over to my screen.
Oh my goodness.
This is a monstera plant.
Nope, that was the wrong one. I knew it. Makes sense.
Yep.
Yeah, we're gonna hire new interns to fan us with those.
I would love
Just for
that.
the retreat, actually. I think that sounds great.
And they have to fan extra hard because there are holes in the leaves. So nice. They're so pretty, man. Anyway, get off my screen. Get out of here.
I'm off of it. I got off of it. Don't you worry.
Okay.
Bastion Thomas says, "Hey guys, very interesting approach with the motion subscription. Do you already have clients interested?" Well, I guess we can just talk about it now.
I mean, yeah, force our
Yes,
hand.
we do have a client interested, which is cool. We may have a couple. In fact, I was making a whole list this morning of all of our contacts and being like, ones that we've reached out to. Was the response positive, neutral, or negative? And so far we have one positive, one neutral, one negative out of the 4 people that I contacted. So we're really getting the whole spread there. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it, shall we? I'll pull up at the after party. I'll pull up the video really quick that we recorded for it, just so that we can all get a general gist and idea of what we're working with here. All right, and we'll talk
Bonsai's
about
a good one.
why. We'll talk about why we have decided to add this to our repertoire of services and all that fun stuff. All right, here we go. What the heck's Delight? What's this subscription thing we're all talking about?
We got a fun little website, by the way, about it. It's kind of cool. Just want to
Thank you,
throw that
Jackson.
out there.
I'm Austin.
I'm Noah, and we run one of the top motion design agencies in the world, Revita. Okay, what the
Okay,
heck is
but hold on
Delight,
a second.
Austin?
Times
It's
are tough for
going.
a lot of businesses,
Oh,
but your
sorry.
marketing shouldn't have to suffer.
The agency project to project model is old news. Here's our new way. Up to 30 seconds of content every single month under a single subscription
Our team of 7 creates amazing top of funnel content like all of these.
at a lower annual price than hiring a senior level designer in-house or expensive freelance day rates.
Huh. We've worked with hundreds of startups and businesses, including all of the lovely folks up there. Crazy.
And not to worry, if you ever need more content, we'll already be super familiar with your brand and be able to complete larger orders at a discounted
Song
rate.
is so vibey, millions around the world have followed our journey as a rising studio, but we're ready to put you in the spotlight.
Delight, a motion design subscription from Revie.co.
Anyway, that's the fun little promo. Let me get the website pulled up.
Do it.
We can chat about that too. All right. So just to re-explain what we talked about there. All right. You know, our business model for a really, really long time has been what everybody else is in motion, really. Hope that projects come along, word of mouth wise, or try and send cold emails, whatever. And it's a project to project basis. So one project can be a vastly different price than another project with all sorts of different requirements and whatever. And that can get kind of frustrating, especially when you have lots of people on your team, because that's not a very predictable business model, you know? And so lots of folks have done retainers in the past and those sorts of things, but that sort of negotiation can be a little bit difficult and tricky to get through as well, making sure that all the terms are spelled out properly and whatever. So we figured let's still keep doing our project to project stuff. Like that's our bread and butter. You know, we make all sorts of longer form content, like 60 seconds, 90 seconds, whatever, as a studio. But we've been trying to figure out how to sell shorter form stuff. Like the loops, we got a lot of engagement from those, and people certainly wanted to work with us on stuff like that. And what seems to be a good option is taking that package, like a 30-second video or less, and then being able to give that to somebody every single month. Now, at a lower price than we would normally offer, and a standardized price, because there's like one round of revisions, and you know, it's just that one piece of content, unless they're like splitting that 30 seconds up into 5-6 second videos or whatever. But like the pricing will stay flat throughout. So the way we're thinking of integrating this, I see somebody asking who the target market is. We work with a lot of event management agencies at this point. That's how we end up doing lots of show openers and walk-up videos and all that sort of stuff, or just stage graphics and so on. And we also work direct to brand with lots of folks who have all sorts of different needs and such. And what that means is that, sure, we'll certainly have big projects that we work on with these companies throughout the year, but they also, like, you know, times are hard for a lot of companies right now. We were talking just a couple streams ago about the economy is hitting lots of people really hard right now, and marketing especially is going through this like pretty tumultuous reset of what pricing looks like and all that stuff and what companies are willing to spend. So if we can be able to come in there and be like, hey, you're getting like baseline, really cool top of funnel support every month. Like you could be putting out a 30-second video to explain some sort of new product or announce something, or like add on to some event that they're doing or whatever. That's a pretty solid backbone of marketing support, you know? And then whenever somebody comes to us with like okay, but we're ready for like one of the normal things we do, like a 60-second brand film or something, then we just can add that in now on top of their subscription as a separate thing, but at a discounted rate than what we would normally sell. That same sort of content at, if they weren't a member of the subscription. So I don't know. It's just a way to hopefully make marketing a little bit more predictable for these companies. They don't have to go out and search for an agency every time or whatever to get stuff done. They don't have to like go through the whole budget song and dance with us every time they want to work with us on something, especially if it's smaller. And on our end, we don't have to be as worried about like, well, I hope they have a project right now, and that we can manage to email the right person who needs a project at the time. You know, there's also, I mean, there's all sorts of other benefits for us. Like we get so many project requests that are at budgets that otherwise we just wouldn't take. Like our floor for projects for a while has been like $10,000 to $15,000, like minimum. And
that 5 seconds fast.
Our average price was getting to be around like 40 to 50K and up ish. And that's not affordable for a lot of startups and other things, but it certainly like gets us in a certain range of businesses to work in, you know? But there's all these businesses down here with cool ideas and like fun things that we could be doing, that just like don't quite have the funds for it. So what this would let us do is take a lot of those smaller requests, from these businesses while also still doing the bigger stuff that we've already been doing. Mm-hmm. It kind of just opens our service offerings up in a way that lets us work with more people. And to answer the question about how do you handle project timelines that may overlap, like from delays, we're going to be giving a very specific amount of time for each request. And our hope is that because most of the people that we're going to be sending this to directly have already either worked with us in the past or have chatted with us and already are like sold on us from the loops and those sorts of things, they'll be coming in like a lot of our clients have recently as more like fans of the work first, and already have built some trust over our creative direction and vision and understanding of their brand to the point where there realistically shouldn't be much variance between each project in terms of the amount of like hours that we're having to put in. You know, it should end up becoming pretty standardized. But also, I don't really know yet. We haven't run into that. A lot of this is just going to be learnings that we've find out over the next couple months. And I think it'll be pretty
Find something
interesting.
new and spicy. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And this doesn't mean that we are not doing our normal offerings of the more bespoke, longer timeline stuff. We're still on that.
Yep.
This is just a way for a lot of more smaller businesses with tighter budgets or whatever
Or for
get
people
some
that we've
stuff.
already been working with at higher budgets that, like, now we
Need
can work
a
with.
bunch of smaller stuff, and we can give them a big old discount on
Right.
it.
And that lets us sort of work with them day to day, so to speak, and like have us as their on call, like hired design team instead of them having to go and try and hire the perfect like individual candidate to bring in house, or find a freelancer or those sorts of things.
Darn right, darn tootin'.
Yep.
I would say. That's the
That's
the whole
gist.
thing, man.
Fingers crossed. We're hoping it works out. We think that it could really be helpful for lots of folks. So we will see how it goes, and we'll be sure to keep everybody updated on that progress. But we're trying to get just 5 people on board. That's it. We'd be chilling.
Light.review.co.
There you go.
That's the website. Any Hoosers. You ready to, speaking of delight, are you ready to move into another delightful subject?
I'm ready to move into another delightful subject. Yes.
Such a good segue. God. Okay. Well, then I have a question for you.
Oh my God. I hope I have an answer.
Gun to your head, gun to my head. What's your biggest fear?
Oh, first, death. So please don't shoot. 2, as Ravi becomes a bigger castle.
2? You're scared of the number?
Yes. Haha, funny. Let me answer your question, please. Thank you. Okay. As Ravi becomes a bigger castle, so to speak, it's just fear of losing what we've built. That's it, really. Death and losing Ravi. Those are my
Would you
biggest
say
fears.
kind of comes down to death and taxes?
Oh yes, also the IRS. Sure, I'll lump them
They're
in.
pretty scary.
They're pretty
So
pretty scary. Even when we're nice to them, they're scary. I don't understand what the problem is.
I gotta say, I would say I'm confident whatever we lose that we could build it back up.
Agreed.
And it may be kind of scary, but I don't know if I'd stock that up as my biggest fear.
Well, that's fine. That's why it's mine. So you can have a different one.
Hold on, we got a barber joke
the
in the
big
chat.
idea.
Why should you never brush your teeth with your left hand? Because you don't want your dental hygiene to be left up to chances? Because,
I really don't know. Because it's just
because
not
that's
right,
not
man.
the right way? Yeah, okay.
It's just not right.
Went the
man.
same direction with that. Honestly, I mean, this brings up a good point because my number one fear is brushing my teeth. That's really scary with all those like little sharp things, and then you put it in your mouth. Like that's just terrifying to me, and I just can't get over it. So, second biggest fear.
Because
Sharks.
a toothbrush works much better. It was an anti-joke, not a pun. Shit.
Oh, that's great! It's like a riddle.
I wasn't.
Wordplay.
Wow.
You never brush your teeth with your left hand because the toothbrush works better.
You're so right. I've been doing
like
it wrong
that.
all these years.
I like that.
Wow.
So actually, that brings up a good point because I'm so scared of brushing my teeth. I just use my left hand. You know.
I gotta hand it to you.
I don't know what I would say my biggest fear is, but I mean, happy to be here. So I'm scared of not being here.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Now, I am scared of not attracting biggest budgets. So how would I attract a bigger budget? so that I don't have to live in constant fear?
That was
Is
such
the
a good
question at hand.
segue.
Thank you.
Wow.
I'm really killing it today.
That was a wonderful segue. All right. So many different facets of this. I'll go off of an experience I had this morning. As soon as I woke up, I had a bunch of messages in the Discord because I guess somebody posted like their remake of the unlock loop from a while ago, but they put together like a whole storyboard for it, and the way they were proposing it on LinkedIn and all these other social platforms was like, I really wanted to flex my design chops on this one. And other things. It was very much like a taking credit thing, despite basically just copying a whole tutorial.
That's silly.
And people called him out for it, and I kind of felt bad. But that's like one of the easiest ways. Like, it baffles me how many people just put stuff from tutorials on their portfolio or their reel. You realize everybody else has access to these things, right? Like, if you're remaking this thing and touting it everywhere, there's probably like hundreds, if not thousands, of other people doing the exact same thing. And I'm not
You're gonna copy someone. I would say copy someone with less than 30,000 followers on Instagram.
Well, I'm not talking about my
Copy me. I don't have that many. Go ahead.
I'm not talking about the loops specifically, but if you're just it's obvious. It's obvious when it's just a tutorial that you're following or something. We got so many people that applied for the motion designer role with us that just had like the same intro from the master motion course from Ben Marriott. And I'm like, you can literally see this on his Instagram. It's like right there. Why are all of you posting this thing and being like, I'm a motion designer now. I got it down. I can make the same animation everybody else made. Like, what, guys, come on. Like, make stuff, contribute new work and ideas. That's like baseline, you know?
What I mean?
That's like baseline easy way to get more money.
It's not about the technical skill. Unfortunately, that is easily replicable.
Yeah.
And, you know, accessible. It's the abstract that's not. It's the actual design thinking and that kind of stuff that you can't necessarily just immediately access. And it's that stuff that people are going to pay more money for.
Yep.
It's the stuff that they themselves couldn't come up with. You can go and pay someone to animate basically whatever, but you can't necessarily
pay them to
that
have
same
good
person
ideas.
to have good ideas.
Yeah.
Paying someone to have good ideas is why people are paid a lot of money. So go learn how to have good ideas and make them come to fruition.
Also,
If you can do both of those things, that's worth a lot.
show your humanity in all that, you know? Like, show who you are as a person. That's how you're going to come off as unique. And, you know, a one of one piece of art or something is certainly going to be more expensive than one of 7,000 or something, you know?
Right.
Find ways to make yourself be shown. And, you know, the byproduct of that will be some uniqueness along the way, I think. And as far as like,
go ahead.
More actionable things, the type of work you're posting can definitely impact that. If you're posting,
Definitely.
if the work you're posting looks like it would be the budget of like $1,000 to maybe $2,000 or less or something like that, that's a certain look, you know? No, I mean, no, you can probably picture it in your head right now. It's the like isometric fake 3D stuff, but it's got like
too much detail.
The flat shading, weird detail, iconography, whatever. Like the same shit that looks like it could have been made by a robot or a template or some shit. I don't know.
Yes.
So many people doing that exact same thing, you know? But if you're posting stuff that looks like the brand films and things of studios like Ordinary Folks or Hobbs or Oddfellows or Gunner or, well, R.I.P. Gunner, but whatever. Golden Wolf, whoever, like, there is a certain caliber that's associated with that in the industry already in terms of pricing. So try and make it feel like you're in that same bracket, you know? Don't play down where the budgets are super, super low. Don't make work that looks like it came out of the same designers that are at that price point. And you're bound to end up charging more because people could, even if people shopped around and were like, all right, I want to go between, I want to like talk to these two designers because their work looks similar, and the other guy's charging this amount of money and yours is like way down below. I'd you know, even if the person ends up going for the cheaper option or whatever, I'd certainly rather have my reputation continue to be like, oh, like that's like the more premium option, you know? It is so much harder to price up than it is to price down. If you start from, I mean, this is the same reason I wouldn't recommend giving discounts on things to start with, because you give a discount to a client just to get them in the door and hope that like you get more work in the future. What are they going to expect the next time they come to you with a project? They're going to more discounts because you give them your budget and they're like, well, I know that this person's willing to go 15% lower than that because they did before. You know, it's so much harder to get people's perceptions to be that your price is higher, you know?
Also, I mean, I think that discounts just lose a little bit of like self-respect. You know what I mean? Like, this is my price. This is my price. I'm not going to change my price just for you.
If anything, go the opposite direction when they ask for less pay. You can be like, "Oh, actually, it just went up 10%. Sorry." Awkward.
Fuck you for asking that?
Now I have the fuck you for asking me to change my price fee. It's an extra 10%. Thank you.
I mean, if they really want to work with you,
then they'll do it, you know?
Make yourself just like attractive to work with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can give people FOMO. People do it all the time with like, look at all these big companies I've worked with, blah, blah, blah. There's lots of little techniques.
Give them some ethos like to work with. Make them know you're reputable. Another reason why you shouldn't just be posting stuff from tutorials, because it's not applicable. It's not for a brand or anything. How can they can't see themselves in that, you know, as a company.
Some designers have multiple portfolios that they can send to clients based on like what the clients are coming to them for, like specialized portfolios. Being like, oh, this client is coming to me for like branding, or like you can get even more specific, like character design or something. I'm not saying necessarily do that. I've never tried that, but it kind of goes to show like it's good to be able to let the client see what they could potentially get in your work. You know what I mean? Like they want to kind of see that one-to-one, like, oh, I could see something like this for my brand, is a dialogue that could run in their mind that would be pretty likely for them to reach out after that.
Right. Yash says, have you guys dabbled in selling motion templates or stock? Most we've done is sell project files from the loops for like $5 a pop. I feel like we could do well if we did that, but I'd just rather make our money a different way, I guess. I don't know. I feel like we've come a little bit too far in the bespoke direction for me to feel good about like, hey, we're like giving advice to freelancers and like we're teaching this workshop now and whatever, and hey, we're just gonna go sell templates that'll probably undercut like a lot of what you guys are doing in terms of pricing and stuff. Like I don't know, I wouldn't feel great about that. Also, I just don't really think templates make a whole lot of sense. If anything, I think they hurt our industry quite a lot, because it just gives the opportunity for there to be someone in-house at a company who's just a general marketing person, and suddenly they don't need a motion designer because their boss is totally cool with just like the same Envato template that they found or something, you know? Like it's much more beneficial for the industry if there's so much bespoke work being put out there, because that's the stuff that's more expensive, you know? If everybody's selling templates, suddenly this is not really a thing you could make a whole lot of money in anymore unless you just join in building templates. And that's kind of a crapshoot, because you have to hope that like you get your audience that likes your templates, and that like Envato or whoever pushes you well, and like it's a whole other game that I just don't really feel like playing.
Anyway, we have some time.
Yeah?
We really ran through our topics.
We sure did.
Chat, is there any questions about all that stuff, or other questions that you got? We have more topics that we can go through. We also have so many recommendations.
We have a lot of recs today. But
the floor's kind of open.
Yeah.
We could get into one of the recs and kind of dissect it a little.
True. But
it could be fun.
In the meantime, Q&A time.
Q. How was your morning, Austin? You woke up early.
Yeah, dude. I was up, chilling, hanging, having a good time.
Chilling, hanging, and having a good
Played
time.
some balloons tower defense. You know how it is.
Oh my god,
Gotta
this
do
man's
it.
crazy.
Those monkeys hate those balloons. It's crazy.
They do.
Um,
They do. Think about how the balloons feel, though.
No, it's probably pretty, I don't know, deflated. That'd be my guess. I got my mangoes.
Overinflated.
I didn't forget those today. So
You had mangoes. Good. Now, tell me, are the store-bought mangoes, are they good? Like in the little chopped up, pre-chopped up little boxes?
I think so. Johan says, do you guys have some plans for personal projects either together or by yourselves, Noah or Austin?
Yes, we do. I mean, we had the imposter syndrome thing. We don't plan on never doing that. We're still going to probably complete that.
We just don't know when.
But we just don't know when. It's kind of taxing to work on stream.
And also, Delight just took priority the last couple weeks.
That's true. We've had a couple things that have just absolutely yoinked our attention. So we opted for a little live show anyway.
Yep.
For a bunch of reasons, but that was one of them. And besides that, we are doing internal projects. You want to talk about that, Austin?
Yeah, well, so every week, the whole review team is individually, we are all doing animations from whatever prompt we get that week or something, like our own mini challenges or something.
Yeah.
And that's like, I am very excited for that idea, but also, like I said, like there's just other things that just come up and have just not, they just immediately deprioritize that for me, which has been a little bit difficult. So I just haven't animated my concept at all. I have a banger of an idea storyboarded and whatever. Well, sketched out. It's not actually built out in Illustrator, but I just haven't gotten around to it. And so, you know, eventually I'll be onto that. I'll be onto that. But I am finding a pattern where like, this is like an idea that would help the business. And then I'm like, but wait, this is a better idea that would help the business. And then I just want to hop over to that. In this case, it was absolutely worth it though. I think, or I guess we'll see, but, it is what it is. That's the gist though. We'll be putting out like, theoretically, if all of us are actively on it and doing it, we'd be putting out like 5 animations each week.
And we might stagger it a little bit because we are going to have probably like 1 week where we're not meant to do one
or by week.
No. Or by week. And so it might be a week where none of us do it, or it might be a week where some of us don't, and then the next week some of us don't and the other ones do, and you know, we might stagger it out like that. If you guys want it, I have a little sneak preview.
Oh my god, he's so sneaky.
Of mine. If you're trying to see a fun little animation.
Okay.
Austin didn't really get to his, but I did.
Yep.
Get to mine. Is it on it? Is it ready?
I was waiting for you to say you're ready. Now it's
I'm
on
ready.
you.
I'm ready.
Oh, you're not streaming now. Hold on. Wait.
Oh crap, dude.
Oh wait, you are. I just wasn't on it. All right, go ahead.
All right. Let me open this.
Guys, look, animation. We still animate. Isn't it crazy?
Crazy. There's a couple more things to polish. It's also on quarter quality because preview. You know how it is.
You know.
Couple of things here and there, but it's pretty close to done. So she cute. She
She is cute.
Users, there's your little preview. So yeah, we're still doing personal projects. Still rolling on some stuff. You'll see it on Soch.
Yep.
On the old Soch.
That's our new term, Soch. Welcome to Soch. All you motion designers need to be using your Soches, okay? All right, guys.
I want to see you on those Soches.
I want to see you on the Soch. Yash says, apps unrelated to motion you use, Notion, Millinode, etc. Notion, yes. Just for note taking though. We also use Discord basically for all of our other organization, in terms of just like communication, whatever, and then Google Drive for all of our file storage and sharing with clients and all that stuff. And we are going to be using our very own portal on the Delight subscription, where people will actually be able to like log into their Revie portal and like communicate with us there and have their files uploaded and like track their orders and stuff that
Took
way.
a while to figure that one out.
Yes, it did.
But we did it. Someone's asking, can you suggest some cell animators in the rec sections?
If we find some good recs with good cell animation, yes.
Yeah. We might make
I
a
shared
more
one
formalized
a couple days ago.
kind of rec thing, but maybe not. I still want to do that kind of awards thing. I think that'd be really fun.
I think so too.
We'd have different sections for that.
If you go back to the first Daily Motion show, the rec that I shared that day, I believe is all cell animation. So there you go.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah,
There's one.
says, can you please share your reverse engineering process? I'm going to need a little bit more context on that one, but I assume they're talking about like we see an animation and then we're like, here's how that might be done. It's not really a whole, like, I don't know. I can't really detail that because it kind of just feels like, oh, I can tell what that is after years of doing this. You know, that's really it. You just are exposed to so many things that eventually you can just be like, oh, there it is. I see that. Jeremy says, love the colors, very different.
A little bit. Thank you.
Roman Lubasson vibes. I love it, is what they say.
Oh,
I
yeah,
think that's
he's a
that
great
designer you
animator.
showed yesterday.
Is it really?
I think so, yeah. You were like, well, don't know how to pronounce this guy's name.
Oh, he worked on part of the Creativity Explained layout one. That's swell. You know when you like find a designer and you're like, I didn't even know that they did all the things that I really enjoy, and it kind of comes together, and you're like, okay, I see.
It's because they're not popping on the Soch, dude.
I didn't even follow him. Oh my god.
That's what I'm saying. They're not popping on the Soch.
He is popping on the Soch.
Oh?
He's got 23.
Okay, he is popping on the Soch.
He's popping on the Soch. But he's not like necessarily posting the things that I would know him for. So
he's not popping on the Soch.
not necessarily popping on the Soch.
Dims says, hi, do you have any advice on coming up with ideas for personal projects? Yes.
That's a good question.
Set a time limit. Treat yourself like a client. For some people, that is the only way you'll get it done. Otherwise, it will just continue being kicked down the road forever.
This is one of the few animations, this little one that I just previewed, is one of the few ones that I didn't really storyboard beforehand. I just kind of had generally like an idea of that I wanted to force myself to not use gradients, like push yourself out of your comfort zone. I wanted to not use gradients, and I wanted to kind of just use simple shapes and see like what kind of fun expressive motion I could get. Of course, augmented by some good old echo. But yeah, I kind of pushed myself out of my comfort zone there, and scene by scene, I was like, what would be fun in the next scene? I always like those little like stacks of shapes people do, so I'm gonna do some of those.
Stack of shapes.
You know, just kind of just be like, I like this thing, I'm gonna try it, or I'm always doing this thing. Like, what are my natural tendencies? I'm gonna force myself to not do that, and go force myself to do something else.
Me at the buffet. I like this. I'm gonna try that.
I like this.
I like this. I'm gonna try that.
It's just a big motion buffet. Motion design buffet.
That's Instagram and Behance for you.
Kind of is. All you can eat, baby.
You can eat motion design.
Oh, I'm hungry now.
Buffet.
What are you eating today?
Maybe some Subway. Who's to say?
Well, I'm hungry, so
maybe I'll actually get my real sandwich today.
Ooh, real sandwich.
That would be crazy.
Austin did pick up somebody else's sandwich yesterday.
It had my name on it
because they
swapped the labels.
It.
Yep.
And they just ate it.
I ate it
great,
anyway.
apparently.
It was pretty good.
Just wild man.
Yep. That's me. No, wait, that's you.
Not to be confused with Wild Man.
Wild man.
I
will always
I'm
point
hungry
the
for
wrong
some
direction.
Rex, personally.
Oh,
so,
yeah?
if you would.
You have to go first since I have so many, but I'm going to cherry pick for mine.
I want you to go first so that you can do as many as you want, and then I will decide to do one or two based on how long you took.
Okay, great. Here we go. I will do this one and
this one.
this one. You know what? I might just do two today. I'm saving my other 4. Nope, 3 for tomorrow. That way I already
All
have
right.
them there. Haha!
I'll do both of mine then.
You guys have been duped. Let me just close out my LinkedIn DMs. Whoops.
So many tabs everywhere. Oh my
All right,
god.
here we go. Oh my god. Could it be Ruben? Could it be Ruben Almeida?
Share on Discord?
Okay. Yep. 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 There it is.
Beautiful.
All right.
Oh my lord.
Oh wait, you wanted some cell animation? Here it is.
That's pretty cool.
It's just.
I want to see it hit the ground so bad.
I know. Boing.
I love the depth in that shot, like from way up above, and how like the clouds are on a different plane than the ground, and it gets blurred. I like that. It's nice little subtle touches there. Great stuff. Great stuff.
The anticipation on the swing is just so fucking satisfying. It's
Go
it's
spinny,
really
spinny.
great. Really
I love
great.
it.
So there's one. This other one was sent to me by Austin Curzon yesterday, though he did not make it. But apparently this dude, Felix Coldgrave, is nuts. So we're just going to watch this together.
This one's crazy. It's a bit of a long one, but it's so interesting. You know, watching it for a second time, I notice more things that I love about it.
The sound design is so good.
Sound is really good. Did you notice that, like, the backing up of the boat turned into the song?
Yeah,
Oh my god, I love that.
No, dude, look out!
What's that? Oh my lord.
They're just such fun little characters, you know?
I love this, dude.
It's like, this could totally be a Super Mario Galaxy world, you know?
This is really like Donkey Kong-esque, honestly. I love it. That's so me.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm saying right now, you know?
This is so uncomfortable right here.
It really was funny for a second, and now it's just weird.
It just got real. Yikes. It was bones.
Didn't you know submarines are made of bones?
And then it just ends.
Like it was
like,
so,
alright.
it was so like silly, goofy, funny for a second, albeit weird. But then it just got uncomfy
Just got
weird.
uncomfortable, right?
There's-
It kind of feels like you're watching something that you were really scared of as a kid.
There's a certain
For half of
brand
it.
of artist, I don't have a name for it, that just like really likes it just has to be weird for me to
Just
like
gotta
it.
be
I'm like,
weird.
I can't really relate to that. I'm gonna be honest. This is my rec of the day, but I will admit I did not watch it all the way through. So
It gets strange, but honestly, overall, it's kind of fucking masterful. Like it
is very holistically
very
a
well.
thing, you know.
I like it a lot. It's like,
Anyway, those are my 2 recs for the day. So glad
There
we
you
all
go.
got to experience that together.
let's see, we got how much more minutes? How much more
we got
minutes?
6 minutes.
We got 6 minutes. Okay, I can get through my recs.
Oh
I
yeah, we
think.
actually do have to be speedy though.
Yeah, I got it. All right.
I'm over to you.
You over to me? I
Yep.
want to make this bigger.
You can't do that. It's Instagram.
Watch me do it. Here we are.
There he goes.
I hope that's not copywritten.
I hope so too.
But wait, it is universal. So it's probably copywritten.
Some of that.
I will say, some of this, like towards the end, it kind
Easing.
of gets not my favorite.
Yeah.
But these like first few shots, I think are fantastic.
The gradients are amazing. Like the stylization and the
Like, this
design
is
is fantastic.
gorgeous.
But like
This is beautiful.
Almost-
Similar to donks.
almost every single one of those ball impacts did not hit for me
No,
at all.
the easing feels weird.
Like what?
Watching it without sound, it's kind of. They just kind of
It's
stop.
like
at the
why
end of
does
that
everything
one.
stop? Like what? It just
Yeah.
it like slows down before it hits the thing every time. But it is beautiful. So
There are some beautiful parts. I think it's so silly that it's Universal Music Production. And their
Yeah.
just logo just is there.
like, hey guys, it's us. It's us.
There's some-
Ah.
There's some fun, quirky things about this one. The first 2 shots are why I'm wrecking it. It's pretty great. And then finally, this most certainly is copywritten because it's an official music video. But if you haven't seen this one already, it is so good. It is so good.
This
and there's
looks
lots
like
of
it's
sad
by that
animation
same
in this
guy.
one. This was by 2 people. You can look in their description. By Matthias.
Okay.
That's some great stuff. And let's see. Together,
Oh well, maybe not. Let's
Sophie Lee.
watch it though.
to get an awesome teammate, Sophie Lee, I believe. There's just so much happening on
Pretty.
here. It's also time to the music. I recommend you go and watch this on your own so you can actually fully experience it.
Oh, that was a juicy
The
bounce there.
the mushrooms and the stuff. Ah,
Boing.
juicy, juicy. I love the faux 3D. It's fantastic. Cell animation's really fun. And the environments feel so lush. It's just great stuff. Eventually there's a shot of him running upstairs. I do really enjoy that. That'll come very soon.
Johan says this Mathis guy has the absolute best showreel intro. I love it so much. Oh, don't even get me started. I have a best showreel intro. Something tells me. Actually, I've got 2 best showreel intros. This has got to live up to the hype, you know?
I love that transition. Right there.
That's hot.
Yeah. That's one of the best shots, I think. There's the stairs. We love the stairs.
Could stare at the stairs. That's starting to sound like a Bill Wirtz skit.
Stare at the stairs all day. I think that this guy looks a little funky.
Yeah. I thought he was like an Among Us character for a second.
But back to the stairs. Yes.
Back to the tube sock stairs.
Tube sock stairs. That's so cool. This one's real masterful. I love it. I love it bunches.
Wonderful.
Go watch the whole thing on your own so you can actually listen to the music. The music's pretty vibey. And it matches with like these people. It matches with the sort of vibe of the music. The vibe of the music changes and it matches with the like colors and the different sort of scenes that are being shown. Like the brighter scenes have sort of brighter sounds and then it kind of calms down the music. It's really cool. Also good music to work to. So check it out, yo.
Hashtag check it, dog.
Hashtag check it, dog.
And on that note,
That's the show.
that's the show for today.
Tune in tomorrow
For
more things.
Also, smash that like and subscribe button. Am I right?
There it is.
It really helps a lot. Is that what people
Rex,
say?
I think
Is
so.
that how it goes?
Rex are in the chat. by
Rex
the way.
are in the chat.
Check them out.
Check the Rex.
the
And
Rex.
be sure to use hashtag Daily Motion Show whenever you post on social if you want to have your work featured
Wrecked.
here. If you want your work wrecked, be sure to use hashtag Daily Motion Show.
Destroy
All right, yo.
it.
We got to head to our workshop. That's it.
Bye.